Dear Vivian, I have been writing this letter in my head to you since March 8th, 2024, when I sat in that incredibly small, uncomfortable chair as the radiologist blurted out the word malignant. The crazy thing is I can still feel that chair. You would think that I would have fallen out of it, but I did what I'm rather good at, and I disassociated from my body, from space, and from physically being. I latched on to one question: what went wrong? How did my body do this? Why did my body do this? What will make it stop doing this? But then I had another thought. This same body that I was so mad and confused by also made you. It gave me the best and the worst part of my life to date. Viv, by the time you're reading this, you'll be an adult, and whether or not I'm with you still remains to be seen. But I hope to be, and I will do everything to make that so. You see, I let cancer force me to learn and move me in ways that I never would have been able to without it. I started napping, something I have never done in my adult life. I fell into bed and I deeply rested. I also felt very deeply. I cried a lot. I stopped hiding my feelings to make other people comfortable. And I became extremely comfortable with my own weaknesses. At 8 months old, all you wanted was to be held, and I physically could not hold you. I became a person who asked for and accepted help. My body was hurt, and I thought I needed a list of things that helped it and hurt it, so I made one. Not enough sleep, not enough movement, eating food laced with chemicals, toxins everywhere. They were in my clothes, my water, even in things like my multivitamins. At the time that I'm writing this letter to you, the focus on the toxicity piece in that list, Viv, has become my sole focus, besides you. When I was pregnant with you, I learned about microplastic exposure by reading statistics like 90% of placenta samples contain microplastic. 100% of breast milk samples contain microplastic. Pregnancy, the most natural process on earth, was contaminated. You were just this tiny little ball of cells starting to get a heartbeat. I hadn't even met you yet, but plastic had. And before I keep going, I do need to say, plastic is actually this amazing material that makes much of our modern life possible. For example, I am very thankful it could deliver life-saving medication to me when I was in treatment. However, it does not need to be in every application everywhere. It is a vehicle for very toxic compounds that our bodies do not know how to process. And what happens when our bodies can't process them? You get bioaccumulation. And what happens when things bioaccumulate? You get chronic inflammation. And what happens when you get chronic inflammation? You get chronic disease. Hello, cancer. But in some of my many deep dives, I actually found that nature has better solutions. Things like seaweed can be the backbone in systems to replace plastic. Yep, seaweed. You see, seaweed is made up of these mesmerizing combinations of hydrogen bonds that allow for it to act like plastic. Right here in Maine, with our very small team, our company has put it to use, proving that you can use seaweed to create alternatives to plastic. This place that I love so deeply, that has made me who I am and what I hope shapes you in the same but similar, different ways, Viv, was the source. Building this company has been the healing tool that I needed. Viv, I need to be clear about something, and I don't know how to make it fit nice and neatly in a letter like this, but I just have this feeling that I can't shake, that when you're done with the letter, you're gonna put it down, look up, and think, okay, my mom white-knuckled her way out of this, I can too. You see, control and forward progress has been central to my healing, but it's not the whole story. It's a really complex and cliche thing, but facing my mortality has left me with so much clarity. Clarity, I'm assuming, gets reserved for those fortunate enough to grow older. My clarity has come in phases. At first, it looked like lists, facts, data, control, control, control. Viv, there will be times in your life where this way is the way you survive. This idea of action and solution, but control cannot be your only way forward. At the time I'm writing this letter to you, I'm moving out of the control phase and I'm moving towards uncertainty. I have the capacity for this phase because I've been through the others. And honestly, I actually don't know what this one looks like yet, but I can tell you, it feels like I'm returning to myself. I have been holding on so tight to right size this massive Titanic-sized ship. We're cruising now. My grip is lighter. I'm not floating out of that hospital room chair anymore. I'm not disassociating. I'm listening to myself and to others, taking deep breaths. I'm letting myself be sad. I'm truly seeing. And I'm believing in the higher power that is directing my life. I'm sure some, and maybe even you, Viv, would think that this letter would be a list of things to do and not do, and what life is all about. But I can't give that to you, even as your mom. I haven't lived a complete life, but I've lived a very full one, and I hope I get to keep living it with you. Guess what? I love you so much, Mama. Thank you.